The only thing worse than a liar is a liar that is also a hypocrite. Coming up. Panyaza Lesufi has recently issued stern ultimatum to undocumented immigrants. During his address, Panyaza Lesufi condemned the fact that there are informal settlements where illegal immigrants dominate. Drugs, prostitutions, murder, human trafficking, rape, car hijacking, all in Sandra. And my question to Lesufi is, say, which rock have you been living under?
Comrades, we can't have an informal settlement where over 65% of its citizens are undocumented foreign citizens in our own country. It must come to an end. We must be very firm on these things, comrades. And no one must characterize this otherwise. There is no country that can agree that you have people that you don't know who they are, where they come from, where they sleep, what they do, and they are in our country doing as they wish. That period of honeymoon must come to an end. We must be very firm. You document yourself or you leave us in peace. Our hospitals are overflowing when South Africans are requested to come with an ID document to identify themselves. They don't have to identify themselves but expect to be serviced.
It is funny to hear Panyaza Lesufi pretending to care and concerned about the issue of illegal immigrants or the influx thereof into this country. Yet, it is the very same Panyaza Lesufi and the ANC, by the way, who allow the influx of illegal immigrants in this country through laws that favors and protect illegal immigrants.
I went to an area called Merimi. And I can tell you, comrade, it's not Merimi alone. There are many other similar things that are like in Merimi. Comrades, we can't. And this one, comrades, I know it may create problems, but comrades, we must be very firm now. Comrades, we can't have an informal settlement where over 65% of its citizens are undocumented foreign citizens in our own country. It must come to an end. We must be very firm on these things. And no one must characterize this otherwise. There is no country that can agree that you have people that you don't know who they are, where they come from, where they sleep, what they do, and they are in our country doing as they wish. That period of honeymoon must come to an end. We must be very firm. You document yourself or you leave us in peace. And it has nothing to do, comrades, with any characterization of our character. Everyone knows our Ubuntu, but our Ubuntu cannot be abused. Everyone knows our willingness to work with those that are willing to develop our country. But we can't surrender our country to criminals. And therefore, comrades, and I've said this to Comrade President Ramaphosa, I've said this to the relevant ministers, if we can't formally take a decision on how best we manage this situation, we must forget about everything that we want to do. Our hospitals are overflowing when South Africans are requested to come with an ID document to identify themselves. They don't have to identify themselves but expect to be serviced.
So what do I mean when I say the laws of the ANC favor illegal immigrants more than South Africans? What do I mean by so saying? You will remember that, guys, Lesufi is the champion. He's a driver and the champion of Bella Bill. You remember when he told Cyril that Ramaphosa signed that bill. You remember, right? In that Bella Bill, guys, there is a clause in there that says an illegal immigrant who is in South Africa illegally, her children can be admitted to South African public schools without any documentation. And obviously, when that happens, that means the parents of the child obviously cannot be deported.
So concerns have been raised about admitting undocumented foreign children to South African schools as part of the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act. And a part of the act ensure that no child is turned away from a classroom due to a lack of documentation.
Think about that. Obviously, the moment that Bella Bill was signed, the word was out there to other Africa countries. So people from Zimbabwe, people from Mozambique and everywhere, when they hear this, don't you think they'll come to South Africa running? I mean, remember, we have no borders. People can just come in the way they want. Think about that. How about health department? The chaos that is in health department. Illegal immigrant flocking South African hospitals, seeking medical attention. And the laws of South Africa say you cannot dismiss that illegal immigrant on the basis that he or she doesn't have any documentation. You have to offer that person, that illegal immigrant, medical attention. And the law of South Africa saying that. But now think about this. The very same government who have put that law hasn't provided the budget for illegal immigrants. That's where it breaks my heart. You will find that during the budget, for instance, let me just make an example. You will find that during the budget, our government uses the database of the South Africans that are in the country. For instance, let's say maybe the people in Soweto, we've got 5 million people in Soweto. I'm just making an example. And that's 5 million South African citizens that are based in Soweto. When the government releases the budget, the government will release the budget of the 5 million of South African citizens, excluding illegal immigrants. Because obviously, how can you quantify illegal immigrants? You don't have their records. How do you quantify them? You will remember the issue of MEC Limpopo, MEC from Limpopo, MEC Ramathuba, or something like that, the MEC from Limpopo. When she was complaining about her budget being strained by illegal immigrants, where she ended up telling one of the illegal immigrants who wanted medical attention how she trended, how media attacked her. They called her xenophobic. They called her rude. And Lesufi and the rest of the NC didn't even raise a finger to defend her. And when you listen to her story, it's very, very, very sad because she's making a point. But because media was already made up their mind that they will sit here on her, they were not ready to listen to their story at all.
Let's play that video for context before we speak to the MEC.
First one, when I was kind, you speak Shona. And then how do you find yourself in Villa when you are supposed to be with Munangago there? You know he doesn't give me money to operate you guys. And I'm operating with my limited budget.
Thank you so much.
Well, you can't appreciate that. You're killing my health system. You are killing my health system. When you guys are sick, I'm hearing these days, you just say, let's cross the Limpopo River. There's an MEC there who's running charity department. It's not. And I'm going to tell you something that is truthful and painful. You know, Stats SA goes and count people during the census and tell me that in Limpopo you have got 5.7 million people, and tell me out of that 5.7 million, 91% do not have medical aid. They are dependent on the state. 9% they will say has got medical aid, they depend on private hospital. And then they go and give National Treasury. When National Treasury allocates its budget, they said Limpopo has got 5.7 million people, and they subtract the 7%, 9%, and they give me the budget of the 91 to do all these operations. Now, I am here, instead of using the budget for what it's meant for, I'm operating for what Mnangagwa is supposed to do.
And the MEC for Health in Limpopo, Dr. Ramathuba, joins us now. A very good morning to you, MEC. We know that things can be altered these days, so perhaps let's start by confirming, is that you in that video? Do you recognize that conversation?
Morning, Desiree, and morning to all your viewers. It is indeed me on that video.
One may say that the message might be valid, but the way in which is delivered is unbecoming of a leader. What would you say to that?
I think Desiree, firstly, I need to appreciate the fact that this issue is no longer our issue as the Limpopo Department of Health or departments of health in the country. The country is now talking about this issue because the already overburdened healthcare system is now coming to its knees. If I'm to give the context of that video, because it has been cut, whoever who decided to circulate it, and it might appear from someone who was not there to interpret the message the way there. Now, South Africa has got a constitution, and Section 27 is very clear that we shall never deny anyone emergency healthcare services. And as a province, including myself, we stick by that. On a daily basis, we are admitting foreign national, illegal or illegal, they're there, they're receiving healthcare services. And we have never been raising and complaining about that. But you know, being a rural province which is under-resourced and having serious challenges when it comes to the backlog surgical procedures, we came up with this initiative that says Rural Health Matters. And this initiative, we are very selfish about it because its aim is to make sure that the people in the rural part of Limpopo, the poorest of the poor, have access to specialist care. They've been sitting for years with surgical backlog and not being attended to. Now, this is the second year we started, and this month we were able to pride ourselves to say we have operated more than 4,700 cases. But what became a problem to me, Desiree, was when I checked these numbers, we are still as if we're not doing anything in terms of backlog. And the reason when we speak to most of our specialists, because the people who comes and do this operation are not necessarily coming from the province. We have got professors from other parts of the country and even overseas. And we go and recruit them and they are coming at no cost. But the only issue is that most of them are coming originally from Limpopo, and that's why they become biased, and they do agree and understand when I plead with them to say, come help me to clear this surgical backlog of our brothers and sisters and our mothers in the province. Now, what we have noted, why we are not even making a dent on these surgical backlogs, is because there has been abuse of this project by illegal foreign nationals.
I just want to ask you, having watched the video, do you stand by its contents and how it was delivered?
That's where I'm coming to say I do stand by its contents, because I need to give that understanding to say we are not doing anything to our surgical backlog because people are abusing. And that's what I was saying, that you are abusing this system. When they hear that the MEC is coming to this district with specialist care, they leave their country, enter South Africa illegal, come to our hospitals. The doctors who operate them, for ethical reasons, even though the constitution will cover the doctors, but for ethical reasons, they don't refuse to operate them. But what is this thing doing is that very same South African and the Limpopo citizen whom we did this project for, it's unable to get operated because they are still flooding even our initiatives. This is where the challenge is, because this is an initiative outside our daily work to say, let's be initiated and make sure we operate our people in the province.
But
we are
MEC,
not making a dent because, yes.
Why attack a patient who's under distress?
We did not attack the patient. If you look at that, we did not. If you were with me in the morning when we started with the first patient who was involved in an accident and was even proud to say, I got an accident in Harare, but I was told that there is a Dr. Poppy in the province who brings specialists in this rural hospital by my brother, the brother is also illegal in the country. I came and get the operation. Those are the videos that will not be taken and trend. Now, when we came to this particular patient also, we interview her, which is not the part that is there. She was laughing and smiling, thanking us for finally getting an operation.
Yeah.
And it is my responsibility. The doctors will not refuse. I needed to explain to her. I needed to educate them. I'm not going to wait for the national health insurance to tell the illegal foreign nationals that you will not be able to get access to elective healthcare services if you are not documented. Because if you look at that NHI, it's very clear that everybody will have a card to access.
So,
and we don't want to discuss those things as South Africans.
Wow. Wow. You can tell that Desiree is just turning a blind eye from what the MEC is trying to say. She's not listening at all to what the MEC is trying to say here. She's just pushing her own political narratives. That's it. That no, this one we need to, this Poppy woman, we need to cut her head off. We need to make sure that we sit on her, without even listening to what the MEC is trying to say. She's talking about the approach. But is that the way you're supposed to? Wow. Just listen to those kind of questions that Desiree keeps on asking. It tells that no, Desiree is not listening, or she chooses not to listen to what the minister is trying to say. Hence, I'm saying that the ANC laws favor illegal immigrants more than the citizens of South Africa. Now, because the elections are around the corner, and Mr. Lesufi'S is coming right now and just talking about the illegal immigrants, something that we've been complaining about for years as South Africans. What are we supposed to say now? We're supposed to say, who want that? Really? People of South Africa are not stupid. I think that's one thing that ANC should understand. People of South Africa are not stupid. So what do you think? Let me hear your comment below. And of course, if you are coming for the first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.